Okay, hiya guys, how you doing? Sorry, we're a little bit behind schedule. Awesome to be here today. We've got something extremely special, and I'm
Hiya guys,
very got a little bit of background order. Sorry about that, guys. Yeah, but I'm super excited today to be doing something for the first time on the channel, which is bringing a developer on. I am super excited to have on the developer of Song of Iron, and we're going to be getting into some juicy questions in a minute. But just before we do get into all of that goodness, I'm going to roll the trailer of Song of Iron, which took looked absolutely awesome, which was part of the Idea Xbox showcase just the other day, and then we're going to get into all the goodness. So enjoy, and we'll be back in a few. Okay, sorry about that, guys. Just finding the button as usual. Thank you so much for joining us, guys. It's a super exciting moment for me to bring on an awesome developer of a fantastic looking game, which is known as Song of Iron. We just saw the trailer there. It looked absolutely awesome. Like I say, today we'll be joined by Joe Winter from Escape Studio, who is the developer of Song of Iron. He is the man behind the wheel. He's taken on the project all on his own, and he is doing an amazing job from what I've seen so far. So I'd just like to welcome Joe Winter onto the show today. How are you doing, my friend?
Doing good. Thanks for having me. This is exciting.
Thank you, my friend. It's great to have you on, honestly. I'm super excited for this. We just saw the trailer there. It looks awesome again. The gifts that have been knocking... Oh, my pleasure, honestly. It looks superb. The gifts that have been knocking around Twitter have been grabbing some attention, which is great to see, because what you're working on looks superb. I just wanted to know, firstly, how are you feeling since the reaction, of the Idea Xbox reveal? I know the game was revealed earlier, but this was quite a big maybe moment for you, I'm imagining. And how are you feeling since? How's the reaction been since that?
Feeling good. It was really stressful leading up to it and trying to make sure I was ready for everything. But the reception's been great. I mean, everyone's been super positive and responding really well to it. It's really,
awesome.
As much as you can ask for. I think I wish we weren't smashed into such a small little section, but
yeah,
but of course, I want to be, I want the full trailer on there.
I
but,
totally agree.
It's all right.
Yeah, I mean, I said to other people before that reveal and that Idea Xbox montage and that showcase, I was saying that it would be great to have it in the main show. I was hoping that the Idea Xbox reel would have been in the main show, and it's a shame that they couldn't have put that in there. But as I said to you before as well, your game really shone through just in that small amount of time. I really thought it just sort of shone through as an awesome looking game and grabbed people's attention. So yeah, you've done an awesome job of making it eye grabbing in my opinion.
Yeah, thank you. I mean, I think there's such a trend for the pixel kind of generation of stuff coming back, and it's been there for a while, right? But
yes,
I think it helps to not be in that kind of grouping of things.
I know what you mean. Yeah, there is, on the indie scene there's a lot of pixel art going around, that's for sure. I mean, there's some amazing games that are made with that, but
oh yeah,
sometimes
nothing against it at all.
Yeah, exactly, but it can be a bit of a trend, can't it? Maybe it's a thing which they feel that within their realm to use that kind of artwork style, but you're maybe a little bit more ambitious. Which is awesome. But yeah, I mean, we've got like a bunch of questions for you today, like which I want to get into, but I'm kind of intrigued. I'm sure everyone else is in the chat. Just want to shout out everyone as well in the chat quickly for popping in. Thanks very much, guys, for joining us on this special occasion with Joe. We really do appreciate it, and we will do some questions later on as well from the chat, so feel free to fire those your way. We'll probably do it as a segment towards the end, so if you do have questions, I'm sure Joe will be poised to answer those too.
Yeah, totally.
Excellent stuff, my friend. But yeah, just kind of to start things off slowly, or get a feel for things, I was wondering, your background in development. This is your first game as the indie studio Escape, isn't it? But you've done, obviously, you've worked in other capacities as a developer before, but you've gone indie for the first time, right, with this game. Is that correct?
Yeah, correct. I've been an animator in games since, or let's see, it's almost 15 years now, I think.
Awesome. Amazing.
I started at a small sort of arcade game studio, and then I've worked my way through MMOs, Star Trek Online,
fantastic,
Champions Online, Neverwinter Online.
Right, nice.
Spent a bunch of time at Cryptic, and then my last release project was Halo 5.
Wow.
And then now I've been working on this.
Yeah, that's a lot of people impressed with that one. Yeah, that's
I've been around for a while.
Yeah, that's fantastic. Well, then, proof is in the pudding with what Song of Iron looks like. So, but yeah, with Halo 5, that must have been quite something to have put on your CV for one thing, but to work with that as well. Yeah. So is it you're more of an animator background? You say that's your where you come out of? Cool. Excellent.
Yeah, exactly. All animation stuff. Yeah.
Nice. I mean, that shows in Song of Iron what you're doing with that. It's funny how you quite often hear, like with indie developers, sometimes they'll either have the sort of like the artistic side or like the programming side, and then they'll learn the other side. They'll have a strong side and then they'll learn the other side. Of course, you must be an all-rounder yourself, but like
it's like you always dabble a little bit in it. But animation is the big one, and then that gives me at least enough 3D knowledge. But then Unreal's blueprints is sort of the best way for me to code. And I mean, without them, I'd be lost. So
so you're working with Unreal Engine 4, aren't you, with Song of Iron?
Correct. Yeah.
Fantastic. So so you're using those as like a basis and then sort of like working from there to make it your own kind of thing. Is that how it sort of works with that sort of thing?
Yeah. I mean, like any tool, Photoshop or After Effects or any of that kind of stuff, Unreal is the base. It's the tool you use to build stuff, and it's got infrastructure to do a bunch of things. So fantastic.
No, that's great. I mean, you see a lot of advanced looking at Unreal Engine 4 games for sure. I mean, it's used broadly, isn't it? But that was quite interesting. You said, because like you quite see a lot of Unity games where it's kind of 2D, don't you? I mean, I know there are some 3D Unity games as well, but I got with Song of Iron, I got a really nice feel of like immersion with the look of the game. It kind of had a 3D feel, but on a 2D plane, if you see what I mean. So I don't know if that's anything to do with the engine you're using or anything.
Not so much. It's more just the sort of way I'm building it.
The way you're building it, sure.
Unity is super good also. I don't know if you saw the Falconeer, which was in the
Yes, I did. Yeah.
Xbox at ID. ID at Xbox.
Yeah, that looks great.
That game looks fantastic, and that's Unity. And he's doing no textures whatsoever.
Yeah, I noticed
awesome.
that. Yeah, I heard him say that. Yeah.
I think he's got. Yeah, I think the whole game. is like 30 megs or something because of that.
That's amazing.
Yeah, he's been worried that people won't think it's a real game because the download size is going to be so small.
That's brilliant.
But yeah, there's textures, but there's just no bitmaps, so it's all just color on the models and stuff.
It looks so
that's Unity. That's like super strong. It looks gorgeous.
Yeah, exactly. It's just whatever you feel better, more comfortable using, isn't it? Because I'm guessing. Yeah, exactly. So just before we move away from the Halo, because I know people might want to be hear that. What sort of capacity were you working on the Halo project?
I was just an animator. I was a contractor.
Fantastic, yeah.
Yeah, I did a bunch of the animation on the Warden, like his assassinations. I did a bunch of the assassinations for MP also. I don't know if people are familiar with them, but like the Backbreaker and a couple other ones like that.
It's been a while since
really
I played Halo 5. I played it when it came out, and then
those are fun.
Nice, yeah, but that's some great, obviously that's some top tier work you've been doing there. So, but yeah, so what kind of, you were working within AAA as a sort of contractor? What was your kind of motivations to go indie?
I think I've been in the industry for a while, and you always get these opportunities when you've been at a studio for long enough where you can start to impose your opinion on people. Not impose, but you begin to influence stuff.
You earn a bit of respect or whatever, all
that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And I think what happens though, even when you get there or you get promoted enough, there's just so much to a big studio that it's hard to steer the ship on your own, and people will be just as strong in opinion in another direction. And so it was just an opportunity to kind of just do what I wanted to do and see if I was crazy and my ideas were like wrong. And so it's a little bit of a test of myself of like, okay, if I make it the way I want, is it fun, or am I just, making all this up and totally wrong about it?
So you wanted the challenge for one thing, is that kind of the put yourself to the test.
That's
totally cool.
It didn't start as I didn't mean to make a game right away. I was just messing around, learning, and
cool.
And then it
just happened, kind of like like a jam with music or whatever. You've got a riff, and then it builds up from there. That's cool, man. That's really good. So you sort of it kind of came out of the AAA environment, and it was it something the game, that Song of Iron, you always had in your mind? It was kind of like something that you wanted to say, or was it just literally organically it came out of nowhere when you were playing around, kind of thing?
It kind of came out of nowhere. I actually was building a much too ambitious game before it, which it was a totally different thing, and I kind of realized I was getting in over my head.
Right.
So I was like, you know what? Okay, not a ginormous survival 3D game. Maybe I make a 2D side scroller.
Sure.
Just to make it like I want to be able to release something.
Exactly.
I
know what you mean.
I'm going to run into so many problems. So then I just sort of pulled myself back, started working on very simple fighting mechanics, and it just started to grow. And then as I was, I was like, okay, this is cool. I better start coming up with what the story is. And then I kind of drew from a book, some really, really good books that I don't want to name because it'll give it away. It'll give away way too many secrets. And then
you'll find the whole story in a book.
And then a D&D campaign that me and my buddies kind of ran, and the two things combined have kind of been the formation of it. Yeah.
No, that's fantastic. So, as in games wise, do you have like any inspirations that brought you to the style of game that Song of Iron is?
Yeah, I've always loved some of these simpler games that really have really little dialogue and just sort of tell the story in the world. Shadow of the Colossus, Inside, Journey.
Definitely.
Those three I'm constantly inspired by.
Good inspirations.
I think those are some of the, I mean, Shadow of the Colossus is maybe one of the best. I mean, it is definitely one of the best games ever made. Journey is gorgeous. It's it's such a great experience, and Inside is right up there with them, I think.
I love Inside, big time. So obviously, I can get that feel. Yeah, I see where you're going with that. I mean, obviously, you're more combat based by the looks of things, anyway. I see where you're going with those for sure. Then that's some great inspirations. Why don't you be inspired by some great games? Is a good idea, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a good start, right?
Yeah, I actually missed one of my questions, which I probably shouldn't have missed. Really, very unprofessional bit. Which I was actually just wondering if you could kind of give. Yeah, sorry about that. I was wondering if you kind of give everyone just sort of a flavour, kind of like a short sort of pitch of why Song of Iron is an awesome game and you think people should play it, what it's all about, basically.
Sure, yeah. So Song of Iron in general is a dark, it's a moody, it's meant to be provoking and to be an experience, not so much a play forever game. I want you to sit down, be able to beat it in one sitting.
Nice.
And with it, it's just a really dark and gritty fighter. I want people to be really immersed. I want them to make their way through this world and through this story that I'm working on.
Awesome.
And just feel part of the game, totally lose themselves in it and go through it. It's a game with, I mean, I show a lot of fighting, but it's also a puzzle game. It's a bit of an adventure game, and it's really an experience. Like, I don't want it to be like, I don't want people to walk away and think, oh, that was a fun brawler.
Sure. Yeah.
I want them to think like that was awesome, and then just, you know, whatever it is.
Yeah. So they go on the journey literally, like, so it's kind of is it a kind of journey game where you A to B kind of thing? Is it a sort of, or is it level based sort of? It's not Metroidvania, I'm guessing, or anything like that. It's more of a, you go on a journey. Yeah. So it's more of a,
it is linear.
Linear.
So,
yeah.
You're gonna, you know, I hate describing the story because, I mean, so many stories, you know, like there's only 8 stories in the world, right? And I could describe it quickly and you go, well, I've played that 1,000 times.
It's how you execute, I guess, isn't it?
It's about the execution. And, you know, it's one of the, you know, you'll see it in, like, if people kind of look at my different pages, you can tell when I've made them earlier or later, because like it's all starting to change as I try to write it better and, you know, all that stuff. It's such a funny thing doing it all by yourself.
I was gonna say, it's incredible that you know, doing that. You're writing, you're putting on so many hats, aren't you? It's actually, it's a remarkable thing, really. Are you going quite deep on story? Or, yeah, I bet it is. Yeah, keeps it entertaining for you, I'm guessing, though. Yeah. So what was I going to say? I just said it and I half said it.
Deep on story.
Thank you very much. Deep on story.
Yeah, no worries. I kind of have a goal of having no dialogue in the game. I don't know if that will be totally true for the whole thing, but it's sort of, I think hopefully people can see it in the trailer. There's a lot going on in the environments, and I hope that I can tell you almost everything by letting you play and just sort of experiencing it.
Awesome. That makes a lot of sense, and it would fit the tone of it, I think, as well, from what I can gauge. And it also makes it, you know, international, which is always a good thing, you know. Don't have to do any of those translations.
I mean, that's a huge thing. It's one of those like secret hidden like troubles of an indie developer. It's
absolutely.
Like, okay,
must be a nightmare with some of those you know, JRPGs with text and all that, you know.
I can't imagine.
But no, it's at the moment I've got some screenshots on a little slideshow from your press kit, which I grabbed. They're all looking absolutely beautiful. There's quite a lot of diversity within the game itself. From what the trailer showed, that really nicely. I thought the actual the diversity of the locations, if you see what I mean. Very nice trailer it was. Just going back a little as well, I was wondering, when was the game first sort of like kind of announced? Did you do a soft sort of thing where you just sort of put it on Steam, or did you do a kind of first announcement kind of thing?
I've sort of been posting about it almost ever since I started working on it. If people go to my channel, they can see, I think my first video is a really early version where I was messing around with like way more of a physics-based game, sort of
nice.
I forget the name of it, where, you know, you everything was kind of runtime ragdoll the whole time. It was way goofier.
Yeah, probably wouldn't have fit the tone as much. It's quite a thoughtful tone to it, isn't it? Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah, know what you mean.
So I've sort of been active about it, like on Reddit and some of the Unreal channels a bit the whole time.
Excellent.
In February, I did post to our gaming on Reddit for the first time, and that was like closer to this trailer, like way less nice, but similar. And that post kind of went crazy. I think it did 130,000 upvotes or something.
Nice.
And that's when I started to really pick up some traction.
Awesome. Yeah, no, that's fantastic.
Some publishers reached out and stuff. Yeah.
Okay, I was going to ask you that actually. Yeah, because on your Steam page, it's got published and developed by Escape on there. So are you seeking a publisher at the moment? Is that
no, I was a little bit. Yeah, I was a little bit, but after talking to a few of them and just kind of running the numbers on my own, I just preferred to do it by myself.
Nice.
They definitely like it. Obviously, works really well for some people, and
Sure,
I'm sure
yeah.
it would have worked. It would have been really good for me also, but um, I
That's
just wasn't
awesome.
super about it. Yeah,
You are
and
a
then
true
Xbox
indie game then.
approached me
You
too.
are. You are. Well, that's
Yeah, I
always
guess
good. Yeah.
so.
But the good thing about
I
so
guess
the
so.
idea at Xbox is they kind of give you that little cushion of help, don't they? But they're still meaning you're self-publishing, aren't they? It's just through the programmers,
Yep.
which is awesome. Yeah. So that's amazing things you're doing on your own there. So like we say, you're doing everything about the game: the animation, the scripting. Everything literally. The only thing is, I think you said you've got a sound guy, which is obviously the common thing. People don't usually do their own sounds. You've got, is that correct?
Yeah.
You've got someone on the sound situation.
Yeah, so I'm working with a composer right now. He did the music, all the music for the trailer.
Fantastic.
We've got like 2 or 3 songs sort of as we were working on them towards for the game stuff. And then another group did some sound design for me to just help pump it up a bit
Fantastic.
with the intent of bringing that across into the final game. But
Yes,
yeah, that's one of those things where I can't do all that in front of my computer. So it's
exactly.
pretty nice
Yeah, you got to delegate one thing at least.
Yeah.
No, it's remarkable the work you've done. It looks absolutely stunning, and yeah, it's there's a lot to the gameplay by the looks of things as well, which is intriguing. We'll get into that in a little bit more
Sure.
in a minute, but so you've been working. How long have you been working on the game as a whole? Then, when you sort of started production of Song of Violin?
It's been about a year now. I think my first post about it is probably the beginning of August of last year. So
Excellent. You're a fast worker
yeah,
then.
just about a year. Yeah.
You're fast and you're ambitious as well, which is cool, which is always good. So I mean,
mad maybe.
mad is one way of saying it, but yes, at the moment we're getting ahead of ourselves. But you were mentioning it as a spring 2021 target, but I'm guessing that's quite a loose target, is it? Or
Yeah, I mean, I definitely want to make it to that.
oh, nice.
Both because I don't want to be in development forever. You know, I don't want to
Sure.
spin my wheels on it. I think I've learned so much already doing this on my own, getting this far that I want to, and I hope that people who buy the game, and I want it to be good. Obviously, I'm not going to put out something that's like broken, but the idea is like,
Yes.
okay, here's the first go. Tell me what you guys liked about it. I really hope it's enough that you'll come back for more.
Brilliant.
Because I'm really enjoying this world that I'm working on, and I totally want to keep going.
Well, that's awesome news. Yeah, I mean, that makes
Yeah.
sense. You're going through quite a condensed sort of like rich experience rather than sort of stringing it out for too long when it sort of dilutes it down, if you see what I mean.
Yeah, exactly. You know, it's one of those things. I mean, we'll talk, like you said, we'll talk about gameplay, but I want to keep it simple so that I can do what I do build is good. And I would
Yes.
rather stop before I go too far and, you know, muddy the waters or whatever.
Most definite. No, it makes a whole lot of sense because, you know, there's some games out there like 2-hour experiences, like, you know, What Remains of Edith Finch or something like that. And it's powerful, you know, it grabs you, it takes you on a journey and leaves you at the end of it. I mean, that game in particular, that's sort of quite impactful. You know, that's always a good way to sort of take games in, I think. You got to, like, don't outstay their welcome kind of thing, and you really...
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, it's classic entertainment, right? I mean, you always want to leave people wanting more.
Exactly.
I think there's games, I mean, Witcher, you could play Witcher forever, for example, but it's hard to get back into it because you know the grind you're gonna have to go through, and you kind of like finally leave Witcher, you know, you never just get to be done with it. You just kind of leave eventually.
Definitely.
A lot of games are like that, and it's fine.
Yeah, no, I do know what you mean. There's a lot of variety out there, which is always a good thing. You know, some games you can spend a long time in, but a lot of the games, you know, the shorter ones where they just grab you and leave you thinking about it after. And but from what you're saying, it sounds like you are really keen to maybe even continue on. Again, ahead of ourselves, but continue on, or maybe continue. Are you looking to sort of continue as an indie studio? Is that your plan? Hopefully, if it goes well, is that your intentions?
Yeah, I think so. Like if it works out and I can do that, I'm all for it. You know, I think it's already been so much fun to work on the project. I can only imagine that, you know, being able to go and make it real and feel secure doing it, it'd just be amazing.
Most definitely. Oh, so, yeah.
You've
got something special, in my opinion, with Song of Iron. I mean, you're obviously very talented, and really hope that happens for you. But yeah, so maybe we should get into some of that juicy gameplay.
Sure.
I was looking at you sort of have you has like the bow at the distance kind of long range weapon, and you have sort of the axe for close quarters. Is there any other sort of weaponry in the game? Is it kind of is there other power-ups and like level upping, like crafting or anything like that? Well, give us a little take of the gameplay in the game.
Yeah, sure. So, I mean, as far as just minute-to-minute or moment-to-moment gameplay, I'm for the most part showing the meat of it. There's a bit more that I think barely gets shown in the trailer, like some shield bashing and
nice.
different attacks to use.
Sounds good.
But my goal is to keep it really simple and to continue to throw puzzles at you so that you have to use those things in a different way. As much as possible, and kind of learn. Some of the changes come where you start to get some of the magic items, where you see like the flaming axe and the lightning arrow in there.
Awesome. I was going to ask about that because the blue glow, that's intrigued me. So
yeah. So what it is that's all going to be gear, like glove, chest armor, helmet, something like that is going to give you those abilities, and then it doesn't matter what weapon you have, but you'll be able to activate the flaming weapon, because you have the gauntlet that does it.
That sounds fantastic.
Have the flaming axe.
Yes.
So if you're familiar with like Mega Man X or some of the Mega Man games, where you actually just find your gear across the game, and by the end you're the full Mega Man,
yes.
However they want to.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
That's sort of what I'm after. So it's not so much grinding and loot and stuff. It's more just like, okay, you made it to here, you found the thing, now keep going and find the next thing.
And it becomes and it's actually you've got visual upgrades as well as just sort of like power up essentially, which is really cool.
Then you'll see yourself getting armored up and everything. There's a little bit of progression, and you'll get more stamina, a little bit more health.
Nice.
And then you do have a magic bar. I'm still kind of working on how I want to deal with it, but
cool.
You'll increase that. So,
that sounds fantastic. I like that. That's really I thought it would be me. That sounds brilliant to me. I think that's cool because I really like that. Obviously your use of lighting in the game is superb in my opinion. I love the color, sort of like because I think what you've done in some places is you've muted some of the background, haven't you? And that's accentuated the kind of colors when they're like the fire, etc. Is that what you've kind of gone in a way?
Yeah, effectively it's sort of gotten the silhouette effect going on.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, you love your silhouette. I think I've seen it quite a lot.
I do love the silhouette. Yeah, absolutely.
Which is a great look.
But it does it does a lot of really cool stuff. I think when it comes around again, there's the shot of the troll kind of standing over the player a little bit, and you can see it blends from the fire to the troll's back, and then even its head is gone silhouette. I think that looks so cool.
Yeah, fantastic.
Right here, I think it's
it's got a very striking visual style for sure. It's beautifully done. Like in the layering as well, through like I say, like it feels like a real world kind of thing rather than just you're running along like a sort of a bridge or whatever. You know what I mean? It's got like a depth to it. So is it all on the? Sorry, go on. Yep.
I was gonna say I built it all kind of like a full 3D world, like a third-person action game. So the level exists out into 3D space. Like,
awesome.
If I change the control type, we could go running off into the forest.
That's fantastic. So it is basically that's what it is. That's why it feels like that then, because it actually is a 3D world you've built.
It just is that. Yeah,
fantastic. Well, it's a great way to work out. It's working for you for sure. So if you wanted to, you could take a little dip in the lake there.
Yeah, right. Yeah, if we wanted to do
really fancy. But so it's all on the 2D plane. The gameplay is there's no sort of sidestepping or anything for dodging or any stuff like that.
It's all on the plane. So you can dodge forward and backward.
Yeah. Nice.
And then you can duck under stuff, jump over stuff. But it is all locked to that 2D plane. That's another one of those simplicity things that I kind of chose to do.
Sure. For the
this will make my life easy. Yeah, I can do a lot of stuff easy there.
Yeah, so that was a kind of a conscious choice. Well, obviously it's a conscious choice 2D, but like it was the visuals thing as well as it's using the gameplay as well for the dodging and stuff. Did you always sort of feel like you would go down the 2D route when you with your game? Was your other game 2D when you started making that first one you made?
No, it was that was like a full 3D kind of survival DayZ.
Okay, right.
Thing.
I see.
It was way too much, but
yep.
It was like if Miyazaki made a DayZ game was what I was going for.
Well, the world is your oyster. It's just when you get to it.
I'll keep it in mind.
So you like the idea of the 2D for the game. I mean, I love a lot of 2D games. I mean, like Hollow Knight is one of my favorite games personally. But
I think it does a lot for fighting games. I mean, it's hard. 3D fighting games are tough because you can't see as well as you want to. And 2D really, I can see in front of me, I can see behind me.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's kind of good for knowing where you can cover behind and front. So if you're getting attacked from both sides, etc., like that, that's cool.
Yeah.
No, awesome.
The other thing I was going to say about combat, because I kind of skipped over the actual gameplay part of it.
Oh, no, definite.
Is the core of the combat is like a barroom brawl is the way I always think about it, or like the John Wick of Vikings. So
awesome.
Weapons, shields, arrows are all really dispensable. So you see me do it a couple times where I throw in the axe.
Yes.
Shields are taking damage and they break. They can only take so much.
Very
so
nice.
The idea is, if you imagine just some brawl, you're grabbing chairs, breaking them over people's heads, grabbing bottles and throwing them. And I want it to feel like that. I don't want you to be like too attached to any one thing, because you're just going to throw it at some guy's head and then grab his weapon, whatever that is, use it for a little bit, throw it away, pick up a new shield because yours just shattered, that kind of stuff, and just mow your way through. I think that'll be really fun, and it'll stop you from worrying about your weapon, and then it lets us do stuff with weapons that you can't do in games very often because you're trying to hang on to the master sword or whatever.
Definitely.
So
that makes sense.
Leave it in someone's head and walk away.
I like it. Yeah. So it's like a Jackie Chan fight scene then, when you just grabbing bits and bobs.
Kind of using what you can. Yeah.
That's
exactly.
really cool. No, that sounds fantastic. That's where the grittiness comes in as well. I'm guessing it's kind of.
Part of it, yeah.
So I mean that's. Is there sort of certain things you'll be able to grab, or is it is there quite a sort of selection of things you might be able to grab off of bits and pieces? Do the weapons kind of break and stuff like that?
Yeah, so the idea will be the weapons will break. It's not going to be too crazy. You're not going to be like grabbing wagon wheels or anything.
Sure.
But the hope would be that there's a few weapons on the field, and as you kill more guys like in a fight, you'll be able to pick up more and more stuff, and maybe there'll be a few random things like a log or some branch that you can grab, and it's not very effective.
Great. Yeah, I like that. It's a fantastic idea. I think that's a really, really good approach. No, awesome. So with regards to, say, your weapons are breaking and stuff like that, is there you then need to repair, or are you going for more of a forgiving way of doing things, or is it sort of a kind of you will repair your weapon before it's effective again, essentially? What's your approach on that?
For the most part, I mean, you're not even gonna ever need to worry about it. I think right. Part of the hope with it is that you'll just continue on to the next fight. You can use your fist, take someone out, and take their weapon, and then now you've got a refreshed weapon. It's part of the reason that I want the gear to bring all of the stats to you and all the bonuses. So like, you break your axe, you grab, this guy's sword, and you turn your magic on, and now it's a flaming sword, and you don't have to worry about saving your fire weapon. Like, kind of like a problem maybe Zelda was having, or people have complained about, like always hanging on to a fire sword, always hanging on to an ice sword.
Yes.
For when you do need it. That's just going to be on you now, and whatever weapon you have, you can make that type of weapon.
That sounds cool. I like it.
Yeah, it's a little bit like Halo, I guess. Or, like you run out of ammo and you just pick up the next weapon.
Yeah, I see what you mean. Yeah,
what I mean?
Yeah. So no discrimination against weapons. You grab what you've got.
Yeah. Yep.
No, that sounds cool.
Totally.
Yeah, you get what you use, what's at your disposal. I like it. So with regards to the story, is it, I know you've sort of touched on it a little bit before, but let's go back to it if that's all right. You say it's kind of environmental storytelling. Is that what you sort of saying? And I've read about on Steam. It's about the gods and stuff like that. Is this part of the drive that you're going to be looking for these gods? Is that the kind of? I know you probably don't want to spoil too much of it.
The sort of how you kind of start off with your people kind of being in trouble. There's an army encroaching on them, and this will be the part where it's like, oh, we've heard this one 1,000 times, but I'll give it to you guys anyway. No. It's effectively, your village / your people are sort of on the decline, and you're surrounded, and there's a group that's moving in to kind of take over or whatever, and you have, from this long line when your people were much greater, you have this relic that was given to your people by the gods. And in this world, the gods are real. They come down, walk amongst the people. They take people to Valhalla. Like, you did amazing in that fight. Come on to Valhalla with us. Let's go. Like, not while they're alive and stuff. So it's familiar that their gods are around. So you've been given this relic, and it basically is a one wish. Gods will do whatever you need or help you, but only use it at super dire moment. And so it's time, because your people are about to go extinct effectively. So you have to leave them to this fate and try to get to the home of the gods fast enough and present the relic and ask for help. And so you start the game trying to sneak past this army through the old forest that's by your village. Nice. And then they, of course, are going to try to catch you or stop you. And then that so you have the pressure behind as they're chasing you, because they know what you have, because it's a legendary thing that, your people had. And then you've got all the pressure that's in front of you, which is the world and how dangerous the world is in Song of Iron. So, yeah.
That sounds good. It doesn't sound like it sounds like a very interesting story to me. No, I mean, like you say, it's a lot of its execution as well. And so the way we see a lot of the fire in the village, that's where the game starts out and breaks out into. Yeah,
there's some of the beginning where an initial attack has come and they're burning the village and.
Fantastic. It looks like an epic start to the game, in my opinion. So you're playing this one guy, obviously, the whole way through. There's the you're going on it, and so you're on this journey, and it's kind of is it like a level based, or is it just one sort of linear long journey kind of thing that's spanning different? It looks like you're spanning quite a lot of. Going a long way on this journey. It looks as if you've which is cool. It's
supposed to be, my goal is to have it be streaming, so it should go one load screen when you start the game, and you can play all the way through without ever kind of switching levels or anything like that.
Fantastic.
I've got it all. I got the whole thing laid out. I've been able to walk my way all the way through it, which is great. And some of the mountains that will be in the background, you'll be with those mountains kind of the whole time, because the world is one big space. It's all kind of real.
So it's essentially you've designed this whole map and you're on the journey within that map kind of thing.
Yeah,
not
much.
Like you've got the end of level and then you go to a new place kind of thing. That's really cool.
You'll just keep walking along.
That is really nice. That's going to make a really nice experience. Then it's going to feel like a real proper journey. I'm guessing that's part of the
actual. What I'm hoping.
Yeah. So you say you sit in one sitting. You don't have to give an exact time, but just curious, sort of depends how hardcore of a gamer are. You might be a 10 hour or you might be a 1 hour. So what sort of length are we looking at for the game, do you think?
I'm shooting for around 2 hours. I think if that's kind of the average person's playthrough, I'd feel really good about it.
Yeah.
It definitely may end up being a little longer, a little shorter, but it's sort of the one sitting attempt, and that's, I think, around that 2 hour mark.
Sounds good. Yeah, it's a nice amount, like we've said about other games, and again, it's about the potency of the experience. So, and it feels like it's going to be a really good one too. Just going to shout out the chat again. Thanks everyone who's been joining us. We're chatting to Joe Winter here. He's making Song of Iron, which is looking incredible. Just want to shout out a few people in the chat here. What's up, Woody? Thanks for popping by, buddy. Really appreciate it. And Monkey Punch, great to see you, buddy. Invader Gaming, Fastback, UK Dazarus, and Husk, ASC Husk, and VJ, Tom Wild. Great to see you guys. Thanks for popping by. Just like I say, hanging and speaking some Song of Iron, which I'm loving right now. We will be doing some questions in a minute too, so if you have any of those juicy questions, then get those ready for us. I did see one sort of question earlier, which I was actually thinking about myself too, which is the name Song of Iron. Does that have any relevance? Is there any song related content in the game, or is it just a nice sort of like way of you know what I mean?
It's a little mix. So it's the circle has no beginning, right? Like I think when I first came up with the name, I was really just looking for something that felt like what I was after, and Song of Iron I think is great. I think of it less of an actual song and more of the sound that war makes.
Yes, I was thinking you were going down that route. Yeah.
Yeah, it's the sound of metal on metal, right? Or shields nice. Breaking or whatever it is, but that's part of the reason why I got a composer also, because I didn't want to buy music, and that's a pretty common indie thing, is to you can buy fairly generic songs for fairly cheap and use them in your games and stuff. But it's really important, especially with song in the name, despite what my
that's
initial
the thing.
intent
Pressure's on when you've got that in the name.
Really good music.
Yes, exactly.
And I love it though too. I mean, there's so many game soundtracks that are just awesome.
Most
People
definitely
listen to them all the time. And so, I really wanted some good music.
The music in the trailer sounded fantastic. It's got that tribal kind of feel to it, hasn't it? Which is it fits quite well. I mean, I know you're kind of you're going Nordic sort of. Is that kind of the feel you're going with the game? I'm guessing. I'm not an expert on that sort of stuff, so.
But, I'd say Nordic inspired for the most part. Sure. I think it may be really, really close to those things, whether or not I call the one-eyed god Odin or the hammer god Thor. I don't know, but
cool.
it could be that close that I go, but I'm still kind of playing around with that.
No, that's cool.
But very Nordic.
It's nice to have your own take on things as well. Like you don't have to always be so close to history or whatever. You can put your twist on things.
Yeah,
and stuff.
Then you can put your own stuff on it, and then I'm not offending anybody, and
exactly.
But people know what it is, and everybody's happy. I think, hopefully.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, no, I think that's an excellent decision regarding the music to get someone on that front, because it really can change a game so much. Like I've actually watched some of your videos. On your YouTube, I watched some of your sort of developer diary stuff, and the game looks epic, obviously. But like some of them, you can just when you see it without the sound. I'm not saying it. Your game still looks epic, but without the sound, it just and then you have the sound in there of something like a rock falling over or something, or like some great music, and it can just bring it alive, if you know what I mean. So,
I mean it's people underestimate it a lot, I think, because you have so many senses, and if you ignore sound, you're completely cutting off one of your ways of understanding the world, right? And it's easy to rely on visuals, but sound is just as important.
Yes, exactly. It's a perfect sort of like combination that bounce off each other to make something great. Yeah. So is there going to do? Can you speak on how much sort of like sort of music there will be? Will it be quite sort of like you'll leave a lot of space for the sound effects, or will it be quite sort of like a lot of background music in the levels, like Hollow Knight has the sort of like song running through the level, or will it be kind of like just atmospheric music kind of thing?
I'm definitely leaning towards the less is more sort of mentality for it. It will definitely swell and there'll be huge musical moments, but I want if you're in a cave and nothing's happening, all you should hear is the footsteps, right?
Yes, no, that's a great idea.
Yeah,
I think that will work for your tone again. I feel like because to like swell is a great word for it. To really like lift that through crescendo when it's like you're being attacked in the village. I imagine that's going to be going for it then and stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
So
pacing. It's all about pacing.
Exactly. Yeah. No, and pacing brings me on to sort of another question I had sort of on about which was kind of you've got the the great looking combat, you know, the axe work, the cool looking bow. But I noticed there was also some like stealth elements as well, creeping around and stuff like that. Are they gonna play a big part? Or?
I don't know if I would call it a big part, but it sort of to the like I've been showing a lot of combat, like I said, and there is more to it, puzzle solving and all that. And I think it'll play more to that kind of stuff.
Fantastic.
Some of the puzzles won't always be like, can you put all the boxes in the right place? But it'll be get past these guys without being caught, you know?
Cool. Yeah.
Or whatever. And I think that's where I've really been able to bring the 3 dimensions of my world into play really well. And I think it's in that scene where they're all in the background and you're sneaking by on your 2D plane. If they see you, they'll come to your line and fight you there. But
awesome.
It just makes all this depth. And I'm really digging that.
Yeah, no, it's good to have that variety in the pacing, because if it's all just like full blown, like all the way through, it doesn't work as well. It's you want to sort of have dynamics in it, sort of thing, where it like raises up, and that's the way to get people captivated, I think, isn't it? That sounds fantastic.
Yeah, and you want there to be suspense, and you're not a superhero, and so if you mess up when there's an army, in right in front of you, they're gonna plow you over, right?
Yeah.
So I think it kind of lets that be a reality, and I think it grounds the game even more.
Fantastic. Yeah. So, like you say, that you're not a hero, you're not some sort of god of, you're more just like a normal guy who's got some combat skills, obviously, but who's fighting their way to some sort of end, if essentially, or to save their villages and kind of thing.
You're real good. But,
you're pretty attuned.
You're pretty good. But
You're not just
you're not a superhero. Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's it. Because it's always more boring when you are a superhero, in my opinion. That's why I've never really been a fan of that kind of stuff. But that's a whole other kettle of fish, superhero stuff. I'm sure there's many people who love that. What's up, Mr. Sushi? Thanks for popping in, buddy. Where are we? Battletoads, yeah. So just out of interest, it's a complete sidestep, probably should have said it earlier. What kind of games do you love yourself? What kind of games do you love playing?
Like right now I've been playing a ton of Rocket League. It's such a different game than what I'm making. It's really nice, and I played a lot of sports when I was younger, so it's fun to play a sport.
Cool. Yeah,
especially while we're all locked down.
Yeah, definitely.
It is such a great thing. But I play all sorts of stuff. I mean, I play Tarkov a bunch. If you're familiar with that, Escape from Tarkov.
I haven't played that. No.
Pretty hardcore shooter.
Okay, cool.
I just picked up Journey again because it came to PC, so I played through that a few times.
I'm gonna have to pick that up on Steam.
Witcher 3 was amazing. I've played Shadow of the Colossus more times than I can imagine, and I'd play it again if I could get it on PC.
Fantastic. Yeah. So you got some good games there, definitely. I mean, it's all of that stuff enriches you, doesn't it? And it goes into your work, so it's kind of a cool thing to be. You can pretend you're doing feedback, research for the game.
Totally.
It's going in there. There'll be like a Rocket League level in Song of Iron. All of a sudden you get the car.
That one maybe. Suddenly you're playing soccer with a
definitely. And so also I was wondering, as you're working as an indie developer, obviously, do you work from home or do you work in a studio? I mean,
I'm all from home.
You're all from home. That's fantastic. I did see your images, which your home office. I wondered it looked like a cool home office to me. But I also wondered, like, how is the lockdown been treating you and the development of the game, and also have you been able to get out to any conventions and show your game off at all or anywhere before it sort of happened?
No, lockdown's been okay. I'm fine sitting in front of my computer all day already. So I think a lot of the gamers out there are kind of like, yeah, okay, whatever. Let's keep doing what I like to do, I guess.
Yeah, that's the same as me.
So I mean. It'd be, of course, nice to get out and go to a bar once in a while, or just see people. Definitely, luckily, me and my wife are here together, so we've got each other.
Fantastic.
And then our dog.
That's great. So, are you not feeling any of the sort of issues with being able to show your game off in a sort of like PAX or anything like that?
I hadn't going into it, so I hadn't gotten to it that
Yep.
far yet. I wasn't really ready for that. I guess I'm like wishing that we could be doing that.
Yeah.
But I think everyone's online looking for the
Yeah.
content too, so I don't really know.
There's been a lot of
I don't
indie
have experience.
showcases recently.
Yeah,
So, yeah.
yeah, and I've been kind of holding off because of the Xbox deal. They wanted to kind of make it a thing for this, even though it turned into a much smaller thing than what the original plan was. But um, yeah, so now the Xbox thing is out there, and now I can start talking about that, and I can start entering it into more and more indie things.
Definitely. You
So
have that sort of, sort of thing on your name now. ID Xbox game gives you a little extra little something, I suppose.
You know, legitimacy.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. But in my eyes, it was I seek out cool games like yours because it's just what I love. Indie games and stuff like that. And but it's kind of. Some people need the need to know it's sort of like associated with something. You know what I mean? It's sort of, but
there's so much stuff out there. Yeah.
Yeah, most definitely. I forget what I was going to say now. Yeah, cool. So what I think we might do, guys, is if you have any questions, we'll do some questions now, and I'll try and remember what I was going to say a minute ago as well. So feel free to fire any questions into the chat for Joe, and I'm sure he'll be happy to ask them as long as they're not too dodgy or anything. But yeah, no, feel free to do that, guys.
Yeah, Monkey Punch asked one a little bit ago about leveling.
Thank you. Yeah.
Leveling system.
So
yeah. I've been watching you guys. No.
Oh, good stuff.
So I think the closest game to the leveling system I'm going after is a Mega Man, which I think I talked about a little bit earlier.
Yes.
It's you're not really leveling up. I'm trying to avoid any menu screens or UI as much as possible. It'll all pull you out of the experience, I think. So you'll level up by finding your helmet, and now you can see it on your guy. You'll find your chest armor or your boots or whatever it might be, and you'll see your guy leveling up from that. And it should be fairly simple like that. And those things will come with some abilities and some magic from the world and make you stronger and so on.
That sounds awesome to me. Yeah, I know you touched on that earlier. I think maybe you popped in after, but that really does sound good, because what you want is sort of just to keep fresh, isn't it? As you play the game, I think that sounds like that will be keeping it fresh and stuff like that. So yeah,
exactly.
The blue color, has that got significance? Is this is that a secret of you might want to keep to yourself, or I'm seeing the blue.
No, I mean, so this is I won't say too much, but so like you can see when he's walking before the big kind of thing lights up, you can see he's got a necklace on that's also illuminated. That is the relic that I was talking about. That's the thing you're trying to get to the end of the thing.
Got ya.
And all your magic sort of kind of is centered around that. So
fantastic. No, that's cool. Sounds good. I will keep that one a bit quiet. That's still good. I was just wondering. I know you're with Idea Xbox now, where you're on the program. Is there any talk of Game Pass, or is it just going to be a Xbox and PC? Or is Xbox, PC, and Series X, isn't it, you're on at the moment? Is that correct?
Correct, yeah. So, it's one of the things that's great about them is that they allow us indie people, to still release on non-competing platforms like PC.
Yes, that is
so
really
it's
cool.
It's a console exclusive, right? So it's really good for us because that's kind of how we live, I guess. I assume. This is, again, my first time, but
first of many, I'm sure. But so it's so the Game Pass, you're not at the moment going to be going into it yet.
So no, that's kind of two separate things. Like the Game Pass team that deals with that is their own thing. I think I'm hoping that what I've got is sort of the best of both worlds, where I get to come out normally. I think people who are really excited about it hopefully will like it enough to pick it up or be interested enough, and then hopefully I can eventually go on Game Pass. I think that'd be kind of like the best of both worlds for me.
Yes, that would be good. Yeah. That makes sense. That's good marketing, brain. You will go far.
Yeah, I hope so. Yeah.
Yeah, well, you've got to put so many hats on doing what you do, and that's
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
but yeah, you're doing an awesome job. But yeah, like that would work really well, and everyone obviously support this game, man. It looks so damn good, and Joe is an awesome guy, so do it, guys. I have put all of your links and everything down in my description, but we can do the shout out in a minute as well. We're probably going to go for maybe, I don't know, another 5-10 minutes or so, if that's all right with Joe. Is that all good for you, my friend?
Yeah.
If we've got some more questions, that is. Yes,
Totally.
hit us up, guys, with some questions. I think I saw one from Beezy there. He says, is there one character, or can you create your character?
There's gonna just be the one character. The one exception to that is that I'm gonna do a female option also. I think
cool.
that'd just be really nice.
That's good, yeah.
But they're basically gonna be the same.
That's cool.
It's the animation, behind the scenes trick. But
Sure.
I just thought it'd be really great to have, an Ingrid or whatever option.
Yeah,
from
most
Vikings.
definite. That's nice.
She's such a badass. Yeah, I think it'd be
Yeah.
a total myth otherwise.
And all the guys will probably play as the female, probably.
Yeah, right.
You know.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, that's a good question and a good answer for that. Yeah. No, that's cool. Daz is saying, how much will the game release for, if you know at the moment?
I haven't locked a price in yet. I'm thinking somewhere around 15-20. I want to get as far along as possible before I say, just because I want to make sure if I go to the $20 mark that it's totally worth it. I want it to be a fair price for people, and I want people to be able to play it if they want to.
Exactly. Yeah.
I'll probably keep asking people what they think, because that's one of those weird, like, I don't know. I can look at a bunch of other games and
definitely
get a bunch of imposters.
So yeah, I mean, for the 15-20, I think that sounds, for 2 hours, I guess. It depends on if you keep adding on an extra hour of gameplay. It's a tricky one though, isn't it, pricing, because it's quality as well, and how much time you spent on it.
Time.
Yeah.
I mean, I've been reading on the 15 is kind of what I think about, but if it, I don't know, we'll see.
Yeah.
And then I do want to have the New Game Plus kind of be part of it, so hopefully
sweet.
you could play through it again, and keep all of your stamina bonuses and health bonuses and that stuff. And
awesome. Yeah, so you are going to be, like we say, leveling up throughout the game, and then by the end you're essentially going to be the beast, and you're going to be a tough beast, and then you'll potentially be able to go back in, and you'll be looking at a sort of more difficult mode kind of thing at that stage.
Yeah, so I think there's a mix, right? Like, I think sometimes New Game Plus is just you get to come back as strong as you were before at the end or whatever. And then I think there's also you've played it, now you've unlocked the insane mode or whatever.
Yep, exactly, yeah. They really do, yeah, exactly.
Possibility.
There's also, possibility for, do you think it might work for speed running and stuff like that? I know it's only a short game, but it's...
I think it would be pretty cool. It's one of those things, I don't know how many games are meant for that.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
And then all of a sudden, somebody figures something out and it becomes a possibility.
I know what you mean, yeah. It's ridiculous, some of the speed runs that you see. It's just, it is crazy, but it's quite cool.
I've definitely launched myself across the map a few times, working on some physics puzzles, and then all of a sudden I'm 10 sections farther, flying over a mountain.
Love it. Just a quick question actually about probably a dangerous question in case it's a negative answer, but I was going to say about, with the combat, are you sort of doing say you cut to the low, are you doing blocks and stuff like that, or is it all offensive sort of combat? Is it kind of a tactical combat, or is it more of a more sort of like get stuck in? Do you know what I mean? It's sort of it's got both offensive and defensive stuff. You see me catch an arrow in the trailer. With shield. That's cool.
There's the dodging. There's the small quick evade backwards ability, and some other stuff like that. It's meant to be a strategic feeling combat, but at the same time you can kind of bowl your way through it. You're just going to take way more damage.
Right. I see what you mean.
But the enemies are all going to come with their kind of identifiable abilities, and then you can respond to it. but
Fantastic.
it's sort of, I think I mentioned it really quickly, like the John Wick thing. Like I want you
Yes.
to see it all coming and then quickly deal with it all. And then if
Brilliant.
you mess up, then you're in trouble. But otherwise, you should be okay.
So you got to go for the juggler at the right time, and it's finish that guy, finish the next one, kind of thing. That sounds cool.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
first person to make a hit is usually the last one. So.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so preemptive strike or whatever. Is it quite big battles you're going to be looking at here? I mean, I know the scene at the village look quite busy. So, or is it going to be more of a?
Yeah, I think it's going to be. It's going to feel more kind of 1-on-1, 3-on-1 sort of stuff for the most part. But I'm definitely got some plans for some pretty epic stuff. We'll see how well that all starts to work its way out. And then there's the troll fight, and then I've got some other kind of Nordic.
Is the troll the big boy?
I don't really think of him as like super big boy. He's like you don't want to run across him maybe if you're not ready for him. But
I suppose if you've played Shadow of the Colossus, you don't really think of big.
yeah.
But so is he kind of a boss then? Is there bosses in the game or?
I mean, I guess so. Like kind of in a traditional sense, he would be kind of a boss moment. But it's not. I don't think of it like that. You haven't like gone through this level to then finish the level by beating him and then finally oh perfect, he's right at the exit. Awesome, I'll move on. So
don't you mean?
That stuff all feels more organic and just. Sometimes you're fighting small guys. Sometimes you're fighting, scarier solo guys. That kind of stuff.
Sure, yeah. It's more focused on immersion, is it? Kind of than being like take you out of the immersion. You got the big red line at the bottom with the health meter or whatever.
Yeah. I'm trying to avoid all of that stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
That's part of the cinematic.
Takes you out of it, doesn't it? A bit. Yeah. It depends on the game. Obviously, it works for some people and some games, but
yeah. Oh, it's totally fine, for the most part.
You're more focusing on a sort of quite sophisticated look of it.
Yeah, there you go.
that would be your answer.
Cinematic experience, right?
Yeah, exactly. No, it definitely has that feel. Is it going to be cutscenes or is it going to be? Sorry if I'm piling the questions all on you now, but
no plans for cutscenes. I want you to sort of just be part of the game the whole time, and
yes.
Yeah, pretty much.
Makes sense.
Live through any of it that happens. So.
Most definitely. Monkey Punch is saying, Joe, the gameplay is amazing from what I've seen. And when is the game coming? Yeah, the game is. You maybe want to answer that?
Yeah, sure. I say spring next year, so it's like kind of around the June-ish area, which is maybe late spring. That's my target window. I'm really trying to hit that. I'm working as hard as I can to hit that.
That is super cool. That is not long at all. That is, which is very exciting. I have to say, yeah.
Very ambitious. Every other day, I think I'm insane, and then
it's cool. I was saying the other day, like people like Studio MDHR and Team Cherry and people, they're so creative that the content just flows out of them. It sounds like you're going to be another one of those guys. You know what I mean?
I hope so.
I think by the sounds of things, you might have a few other projects planned for the future already, which is cool.
I think because I've been in the industry for a while, I've just got a lot of the right mentality for some stuff. It's easy to get lost in building content as a one-off, and then you realize how much work it is to do that. So I've been once I started talking with Xbox and realized I was going to get a date, I started reworking a lot of my stuff so it would scale and it would be way easier to implement and make big changes really quickly. And that's the type of stuff that makes those dates more possible.
That's working smart, isn't it, as well, for sure.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's your experience coming in for sure. That makes a lot of sense, and it just looks so good. We're now looking at the trailer again, obviously, guys. So if you're not looking at the screen, look at the screen because it's looking so sweet. You can see you're an animator for sure.
I know. And people respond to the animation a lot. And honestly, I haven't really polished anything. It's a lot of really early stuff. So
wow, that is amazing.
It's sort of the curse of it, I guess, is because I can do it really quickly, like a certain amount, and now I'm dying to go and like clean it all up. But
sure, yeah, I bet it's funny when you put it out there and you know what you're going to be doing to it. Still, it looks so polished still for me though. That fire is epic. The lighting on that's falling off across the the person you're controlling is just beautiful. It's just it's just stunning. It's I love it. What do you guys think about it, guys? But, I know there's been a lot of people lusting over it. So yeah, you definitely got something special, as I say. So just final few questions is like let's wind that back quickly. If anyone else has got any final questions, we're going to be winding it up quite soon, so just let me know. Do you have any aspirations for bringing it to other consoles as well, or is it you're going to be sticking with the Xbox and PC launch, and then maybe later on potentially, or just happy with that as it is kind of thing?
Right now, it's almost too much to even think about. I'm already scared, like getting into both of them.
I know what you mean. But yeah, it's something that could happen. Yeah,
exactly.
So you just sort of see how it gets received and stuff, and then potentially.
Yeah, exactly.
No, well, I'm sure it'll be received awesomely well. Is that a question?
Someone's driving.
Yeah, Jay goes in there. Finally able to chime in, driving and listening. Couldn't chime in at 70 miles an hour. Tell Joe the game looks like a side-scroller God of War. I'm sure he's heard that before as well, and looks amazing. Can't wait to play it. Cheers, Jay. Go, bro. Yeah, I bet you've heard that. Plan, sorry.
Someone asked about the Xbox cross-gen and stuff. So it should be coming to Xbox One, Series X, and then a Steam. I don't think I'll be able to do cross-saves between like Steam and Xbox. I'm not totally sure. But the intent is to have it on Smart Delivery and on... I'm going to forget the name. This Xbox is streaming
thing. Cloud. Yeah, the xCloud. Sorry, is that...
xCloud, yeah, thank you. So hopefully that all works out. That starts to get into the more techie stuff that I don't know if I'll be able to do.
It's a lot to think about, isn't there? Yeah.
But I want to do Smart Delivery, which is the big one, and that means
awesome.
That's you buy it on Xbox One, you eventually upgrade, you can play it there also.
Now that's obviously a very customer friendly approach, and that's
I think that's awesome.
Good plan. Yeah, and are you going to be doing, just as random, I probably haven't thought about this at all, but are you going to be doing Play Anywhere, where it's sort of you can play between PC and Xbox, or is that something?
Yeah, I think that's the xCloud stuff, and if I can get that going, I'm all for it. I think it's one of those, it's the indie thing a little bit, right? Like maybe that comes a little later.
Sure, exactly.
Okay, well, I'll plan for it, but you guys will have to wait 3 months or whatever it is,
Yeah, no, definitely, yeah. The good thing is you're looking at a sort of play it in one kind of experience. I've forgotten the term for it. One and done kind of thing. That's a horrible term, actually, but you know what I mean. It's more of a experience where you can sit down and take it in. Sorry, did I talk over you then? Sorry.
No, you're fine. Go ahead.
I was just going to say, you look. So cloud saves aren't as essential and stuff. I mean, sorry, not cloud saves. Play Anywhere and stuff is not end of the world, because I think like the games like your game is best played in one setting, like you said earlier as well, and you can really feel the full experience and the journey that you're going to go on, which looks like an absolutely awesome journey to me, because there's quite like a lot of diversity, like I say earlier, in the locations. I mean, you've got like the snow. Is there any other locations we're going to expect, or is this kind of a good showcase of everything that we're seeing?
This is a decent showcase of everything. I mean, it's fairly vague, some of the scenes, but for the most part, it's old forests, a few plains, caves, mountains, snow stuff.
Brilliant.
You don't really see, there's kind of some temple-y stuff, and then there's a bit of like an old kingdom ruin sort of little area that you'll go through that I think is pretty cool. But
brilliant.
For the most part, you're getting the gist of it. Anything you feel like is a Viking kind of space, you should see.
Sure. Yeah, it looks superb. And yeah, so we've been going a little bit over the hour mark, so I probably should let you get back to things, and because taking an hour of your time, your essential time, and I'm really grateful to have had you on, my friend. Your game looks truly remarkable. I'm so excited for it myself. And yeah, really cannot wait for it. And you know, spring is not a long time away, and we won't have to wait that long. But yeah, massive thank you again for coming on. And if anyone's got any last questions, hit them literally right now, or we'll forever hold your peace, as they say. But yeah, so again, thanks for coming on, Joe. Joe, you've been Joe Winter. You know that anyway, but I'm just telling everyone else. Joe Winter of Escape, who has joined us today to chat about his awesome upcoming indie game, Song of Iron. Yeah, where can people find you? I mean, I've put it in the I've put links in the description below for your website, etc. But where can people get a piece of Song of Iron in the meantime before it releases?
Yeah, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube are really my primary areas. If you search Song of Iron in any one of those, you should find it.
Fantastic.
And yeah, I kind of post the whole time, and I try to do sort of dev journeys, dev diaries a little bit, and I do some tutorials and explain sort of some of my strategies for some stuff too. I think it's pretty cool.
Yeah, I really enjoy those videos. Yeah, no, it's been awesome. I really enjoyed your YouTube videos. Are you going to be keeping those up going forward as well?
Yeah, I hope so. I'm definitely gonna try. I think it's I think people. I mean, I really like doing them. I like talking about why I'm doing stuff and not just showing the content itself. I think it's always interesting to me when I find someone doing that. So I wanted to kind of give that a shot. Definitely,
it's nice to see like the motivations for doing certain things, and the behind the scenes is always cool. But yeah, no, it's like I say, it looks fantastic, the game. I'm sure everyone here is really excited to check it out next year. And once again, I'd love to thank you from the bottom of my heart for coming on and doing this interview, because I know you're a busy guy and you have much developing to do. So thanks again, my friend.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me. I really appreciate it.
My pleasure. Cool. So thanks everyone who joined us today in the chat. It's been fantastic. We've had a blast with Joe, and all you guys who've popped in. Look in the description below for links. Be sure to follow Joe on Twitter, and check out his website and stuff like that. I'm not sure if he has an email. I think you might have an email list on your website. I think you do, don't you?
Right. You can go to my website and find all the links to all my social media.
Oh, there you go. That's one way of doing it. Go to the website is the key one, guys. So check that out. All the links in the description below. Brilliant stuff. And I've had a blast today. So thank you again for coming on, and thanks everyone for watching. And I'll be back I'll be back on Saturday for a indie games podcast with Fastback and Super Coop. So we'll be talking about a bunch of stuff on that. So join us on Saturday. It'll be 8 p.m. UK. So yeah, it'll be awesome to see you guys then. But once again, thanks for joining us, guys. Go and check out Song of Iron, and also give it a wish list as well on Steam. If you're a Steam guy, go and check it out on Steam, and you can wish list that over there now. But final time, let's wind this up. Thank you very much, guys, for watching, and I will see you all again real soon. Catch you later, guys.